we got a new Avatar movie, and the wait wasn't 14 years this time. Avatar Fire and Ash brings us back to Pandora. And even though I had some issues with the last movie, The Way of Water, which I thought had its big pacing issues and story development issues, I still thought it was a good movie, despite its flaws. And I thought the first movie was fantastic. Not that original, but fantastic as a movie. What I mean with not that original is the story elements, which were kinda recycled from other movies, but it brought enough of new elements to be a great movie in the end. Now, with Fire and Ash, my biggest question was if it's going to have the same pacing issues as The Way of Water had. And I'm glad to say that Fire and Ash fixes a lot of those issues. Fire and Ash has a very good pace to it. It builds up its story in a mostly natural way, with natural progression. We follow Jake and Neytiri and their family, mostly in this movie, and for the most part it's really interesting to watch. There are a lot of characters that have a lot of tension between them, and I thought that was explored in a very good way. Especially the tension between Neytiri and the character Spider, who was introduced in The Way of Water. Spider is a very well written character in this movie. He has a well written arc, and so does Neytiri and Jake. And we also get introduced to a new faction of the Navis, either called the Ash People or the Fire Navis, led by Varang. And she is one of the antagonists in this movie, alongside with Officer Quaritch, who was saved by Spider in the last movie. And she is very vicious. And I thought she was the most intimidating Navi we have been introduced to. Interestingly, she's played by Una Chaplin. She is granddaughter to Charlie Chaplin. And she does an excellent job with Varang. Because for anyone who didn't know, these characters are not fully CGI. The look and exterior of the creatures is CGI, but they are motion captured by actors. Everything else is fully CGI, and that is quite remarkable because of how everything looks in this movie. It looks so realistic. Some shots look like a nature documentary, and it seems like they did something with the frame rate in this one. It didn't feel like the 24 frames per second that are usually used when shooting movies. It felt higher for most of this movie, which is kind of awkward at first, and honestly awkward for all of the movie. But it fits with this world and these designs. I wouldn't want it in other movies though. It tends to feel like a video game. But like I said, it fits here visually. The movie is beautiful visually. The CGI is once again one of the best CGI effects ever. That aspect is not left to chance by James Cameron. And it's truly wonderful to step into the world of Pandora. All the actors here do a great job. Zoe Saldana and Sam Worthington, they are great as Jake Sully and Neytiri. So is Stephen Lang as Quaritch. Also one that stands out is Jack Champion as Spider. He has an outstanding performance in this movie, playing a character that's part of both the human world and the Na'vi world. And I would like to see him come back in the last two movies that are planned. It's not sure that they will be made, but James Cameron has said in interviews that he has a 5-movie arc planned. And I would personally want to see where this story goes and how it ends, even though he has said that this third movie works as an ending too. But I guess it depends on the box office results, because these movies are most certainly expensive to produce and make. But I don't doubt that this will be a box office success. After the first movie made about $3 billion in 2009, and when we didn't get a sequel for a very long time, many were saying that it's too late. That when The Way of Water released in 2023, it wouldn't be a box office success because no one is interested. And they were wrong because that movie made 2.3 billion in 2023. So I wouldn't doubt James Cameron. And I do think that these three movies have been good, and that the planned 5-movie arc story is worth telling. Because I did read some articles that James Cameron is planning something unexpected for the ending of these movies. And he is one of my favorite directors of all time, so I want to see that. He is a director at a very high level, so if he says he's planning something unexpected for the ending of these movies, I do believe him. And it's not even just him that talked about it, it has been other directors, like Guillermo del Toro. So I really want to see all 5 movies happen. But Fire and Ash is really a great addition to this franchise. It's going in the right way. I thought The Way of Water was kind of just good, and I think Fire and Ash is just fantastic. Not perfect, but just a great movie. What I mean with that it's not perfect is some issues I had with that some story beats were repeated over and over several times in the movie. Not to the point that it ruined the movie, but it was noticeable. So it had a different problem with pacing this time around. While The Way of Water was kind of slow, the story beats were happening too slow, this one repeats story beats. And that I thought was one of the weaknesses of this movie. The other issues I had with Fire and Ash is the villains, the antagonists. While Quaritch has been there from the beginning, his arc kind of feels redundant. It feels finished. Even though they presented a new conflict where he has this son. Spider is his son, and that is interesting, but the arc feels kind of muddy. At least for now, because I don't know what they are going to do in 4 and 5 if those get to be made. But for now, it kind of just feels like it has no function. His arc feels repetitive. And then we have the new faction of the Navis, the Fire People. They are interesting on the surface, intimidating, cool looking, and the first time we are introduced to evil Navis. But they don't have much to do in this movie. Berang, the lead villain of the Navi Fire People, she is kind of wasted. And I did feel she was an interesting character on the surface, but they don't do much with her. She is kind of there just to push the plot forward. She is well acted and well designed, but there could have been done more with the character. And once again, the visuals in this movie, they just look perfect. It is a visual masterpiece. The designs of the creatures and environments and the props, it's all just beautiful. I just wish the script could have been worked on a little bit more. But who knows, if we get to see 4 and 5, maybe all this would make more sense and work better. But I do feel that you still have to write a part of a franchise in an isolated way, that it's good on its own and is a bit less repetitive in its story beats on its own. But overall, I thought Fire and Ash was fantastic. And it's definitely a movie you should see in the theater. I am giving Avatar Fire and Ash an 8 out of 10. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. Also, don't forget to smash the bell icon so that you don't miss any of my future videos. This will also be my last video of the year. And I wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. This has been Phantom Frame. Thank you so much for watching.